Greetings, Darklings. I know what you're thinking. Toasted Heretic, you magnificent beast of a man. How was 2023 for you, especially in a musical way? Well, I have the answer for you with my completely brilliant top 10 rundown of my favourite goth tracks, releases, some of them singles, some of them albums of 2023. Remember, people, I would love to hear your opinion. Do leave comments as we go. Let me know if you've heard these, or even better, if you'd like to recommend or speak up for something I've missed and not put down. And two, also remember that I'll be putting a Spotify playlist of all of these tracks, or track off each album when it gets to albums, that you can listen to after you've listened to this. Before you've watched this, don't ruin my rundown, will you? But you know, you get the idea. You can play it track by track as we go along, just as long as you get through, and hopefully you'll hear some good recommendations from this year. Let's get on with it. So, at number 10, we have Echo Barrel with Fading Away. It's a sort of synth goth banger. There's a few of them here, because synth goth for me is really sort of taking over at the moment. This has got a feeling of, it reminds me in some weird way of, do you remember Small Town Boy by Bronski Beat? You might be too young for that. If you are, ignore me. Or listen to the Echo Barrel. That's the name. The Echo Barrel track, and then play Small Town Boy on Spotify, something by Bronski Beat. Find it, look it up, play it, and you see what I mean. It just reminds me of a bit. Apparently, Echo Barrel make dark music and storytelling. Still, and they're from Paris. Magnifique. Still, I can't help but think that even being Parisian and adding Echo doesn't stop Echo Barrel from being a not very goth name. Echo Barrel, maybe. I apologise to any French people listening. Still, it's a good track. It's not amazing, because I'm damning it with Frank praise now. It's good, but Echo Barrel's done better stuff in 2022, and I suspect they'll do. They're a duo, by the way, it's not one person. I expect they'll do better in 2024, but it's still a cracking track, so do go check it out. At number 9, we have Depeche Mode and their album Memento Mori. It is by far the best thing, in my opinion, that Depeche Mode have done in at least 20 years, because my word, this album is an absolute banger. I kind of dipped in and out of Depeche Mode since Violator, but I've not really been that convinced. But there are some really, really good, really great tracks. My favourite, Stranger, for example, is basically as good as anything they've done before, in my opinion. And I also really love Ghost Again, Wagging Tongue, People Good. And I've got to be honest with you, the whole album's really good. There is a poor track on it, but yeah, My Very Stranger is an absolute belter of a track. Moving on to number 8. And at number 8, we have Tangerine Cat and their album Glass. Right, what is this? I mean, seriously, look, there appears to be a woman dressed as a Dalek playing half a cello with a crankshaft stuck in it, which is turning, while a raver applies some beats. It's madness. They describe themselves as industrial doom metal rave from Ukraine, and quite a lot of the songs are in Ukrainian. Owen is political, apparently. Okay, I've no idea what's going on here, but it is utterly compelling. And you know what? They're not wrong with that description. There is a very strong doom element, there's an industrial element, but it's folk as well. It's like industrial folk beats. I mean, if you've not heard it, go on Spotify and play the Tangerine Cat album Glass. There's some previous work from them as well, slightly folkier. It's still great though. I mean, I think it's really good. I think they're really doing something unique and original and very compelling. Do not expect a ton of pop bangers though, but the pure atmosphere. And I'll tell you what, I really lose myself in it, and I really love that about it. So go check it out. It's terrific if you've not heard it. If you have heard it, hurrah! And we move on to number 7. And at number 7, we have winning worst band name of the year award, the Abandoned. Yeah, I'm not joking. You are abandoned. Like, I don't know if you meant to say you are. It's written as one word. Abandoned. Anyway. There's a tune, it's called No Fear. They are from Germany, I think Berlin, but I could be wrong. Okay, look. They set my goth cliche klaxon off every time I listen to them. They clearly own First and Last and Always by the Sisters of Mercy. They've got the drum machine, they've got the deep bass, they've got sort of scrawling guitar, and the voice that sings like this. Sometimes in German, just to make it even more kind of like, but my word, have they got some banging tunes. That's the thing. I will put up with the goth cliche klaxon going on if the songs are good enough. No Fear is a genuine banger. Go play it. They are, I mean, it's just such a, first time I heard it, I had such an adrenaline rush of it. It's got all the kind of goth trope, but what a song. The thing is as well, yeah, it's not the only good one. I've got most of their songs are really banging. I've released about 4 singles. I released an album, I think 2 years ago, and they've released about 4 singles this year, and they are all started really good and move on up to brilliant, which is where I'm placing No Fear. It's only got 3,000 plays on Spotify, by the way. They need some love. Go listen to it now, okay? At number 6, we have Are Missing with My Time as a Ghostly Someone Else. Right. If you know me, like there will be people watching this who know me, they go, all right, it was inevitable that Are Missing are going to be in this because I have a bit of, what can I call it, an Are Missing fetish. So Are Missing are a band, I think they're from New York, they're a duo. They have this weird way of releasing a single about every 3 minutes this year. Apparently they're releasing an album next year. But, I mean, there's loads of them. And to be honest with you, let's just deal with the sheer volume stuff. My Time as a Ghostly Someone Else I've picked. But, definitely Consolation, All of Them with C's, and Take Your Pleasure, sadly, are all killer tunes that came out this year as well. Here's a weird thing. They're called Are Missing, like the letter R and then the word missing. They've got a panache, as you may have noticed, for very long song titles. Yet, given the sheer amount of words in the song titles, the letter R isn't in any of them. Is that because R is missing? I'm just curious. See what you think. But, what do they sound like? You know, there's a thing I've already said for synth goth bangers, you know, and there's some more of those to come. Are Missing are really wistful. There's like My Time as a Ghostly Someone Else is also like the perfect Are Missing title. There's a ghostly otherness to them. Like the vocals are there, but they're almost transparent. They're not spoken, they're sung, but it's just so distant and mournful and lost. I find them really beautiful, and even when they do up the beats, it's like still really mournful. I can't wait to hear what they do next. They're beginning to pick up some real traction now. I hope things really happen for them because I think they're really cracking and very original sort of turn on the synth goth, and I'm running with that phrase, by the way, the synth goth thing. So, Are Missing, My Time as a Ghostly Someone Else is number 6. At number 5, though, I'm going to be honest with you, is not, I've put goth, I've put top 10 goth releases. This isn't goth release. I'm even going to pretend, yeah? It's an Irish punk band. They're called Sprints, and the tune I've listed here is called Adore, Adore, Adore. 2022, they released 3 banging punk singles, and this year they've released some great pop singles, but Adore, Adore, Adore for me was an absolute peach of a tune, and you have to hear it. So I've included it here in this list. Apparently their debut album, they're a very new band by the way, the debut album is out in January or February, and they're on tour. I can't wait to go and see them, because they just bang out brilliantly catchy and strangely kind of worrying punk tunes. Great band. Go listen. Okay, it's a step outside the goth norm, but go listen anyway. So number 4 is an album called The Bone Carver by a band called And Also the Trees. Yeah, the sheer lack of plays on Spotify and kind of underappreciatedness of this band make it clear you probably don't know that. If they do, just ignore what I'm about to say, because you probably know this. But I first saw And Also the Trees supporting The Cure in 1984. And let me be absolutely clear, they blew The Cure off stage. I'm not joking. Brilliant band. They were then, and they've been making music sometimes sporadically, sometimes consistently ever since, to absolutely no success. I strongly suspect they don't really want fame and fortune. They just do their own thing spectacularly well, and if you want to listen along, you're welcome. I don't know, I might be wrong there, maybe I'm doing them a disservice, but it's weirdly uncommercial, and not in the way that, say, Tangerine Cat, just like weird, what the hell's going on. If you're going to give this a goth thing, like, you know, you people do, are we going to call this, what, parlor goth? Gothic folk. It's beautifully musical. The whole of this album is beautifully musical. It's well played, all sorts of different instruments crop up. It gives you, they have an atmosphere of the countryside. They have an atmosphere of being in a hut in the woods, but actually quite, you know, a well-appointed hut with soft furnishings and stuff. You know, quite a luxury hut, but still remotely beautiful, if you know what I mean. And they make you want to wear a waistcoat. I am. Yeah, they make me want to look like this. They just give you, there's something. They are the sound of landed gentry that have lost every penny gambling. They're the sound of that. Imagine that as a sound, and you have And Also the Trees. They go through phases where they're not doing much, and then they go through phases where they're really active. Either way, The Bone Maker is, for my money, the best album they've made in the last 20 years. It is stunning. I will point out some song titles for you to go and check out. There's one called In a Bed in Yugoslavia. The song's called In a Bed in Yugoslavia. I mean, there's going to be a whole load of people watching this who don't know what Yugoslavia is, or more to the point, was. So that's how obtuse they can be. Another Town, Another Face. There's a tune called this is the most And Also the Trees title ever. Brace yourself. Last of the Larkspurs. Like some ancient family man. What a tune though. Oh my god. It's got this weird sort of, as I say, parlor goth, but also slightly psychedelic feel to it. And here's the weird thing, right? They haven't done anything for years. Then end of last year, they started releasing the singles which came off this album, and then this album they dropped at the beginning of 2023. I'm recording this in mid-December 2023 as my end of year roundup, but I'm doing them a slight disservice because 1 week ago, sorry, they dropped a new track on YouTube. It's not on any, I can't find it on any other media place, it's not on Spotify or anything, but they released a video on YouTube of a brand new track called The Path Through the Meadow, and there in the description it says there's a new album in 2024. So suddenly this band are active again. Looks like they're touring. Go and see, just check out. Half their best stuff isn't on streaming. They're one of those bands. A lot of stuff isn't on streaming services. Some of it is, and there's some great stuff on the streaming services. Probably the best thing you can stream on Spotify that they've done so far is the Bone Carver album, which is a belter. I truly, if you do nothing else, check this album out with an open mind. It's not what you're thinking it's going to be. I'm not doing a great job of describing it, but please go listen to And Also the Trees if you've never heard them. And at number 3, we have the album Keepsakes by Hacked Pixioto. Hacked Pixioto. I don't know how you say it. Hacked Pixioto. That's what it says. Hacked Pixioto. Okay. The album's called Keepsakes. This is a band formed by artist Daniel de Pixioto. I should be able to say that. I think it's Italian. I'm half Italian. Never mind. Daniel de Pixioto and den Strutzen de Neubauten member Alexander Hack. I think that's where we get Hacked Pixioto from. It is a beautiful, experimental, industrial, but very warm. Do you know what it's like? In atmosphere and feel, but not necessarily sound. It really reminds me of the first 2 This Mortal Coil albums. You know, that sense of living rooms and country gardens, but it's quite industrial as well. So it doesn't sound anything like And Also the Trees, which you could probably apply that description to as well. But it's got that sort of atmosphere of like a tape playing in the background while someone's doing some home renovations and somebody else is lighting a fire and it's perfect listening if you're indoors in the warm. There's a storm raging outside. It's just a magnificently atmospheric and strange and compelling album, and you need to hear it if you've not heard it. I keep saying that, but why would I not? Why would I have these in my top 10 if I don't think you should hear them? But yeah, you know what I mean? It's a really, really great album. Really compelling and very beautiful. I'll give the name a go. Another go. Hacked Pixioto. And the album Keepsakes is at number 3. There's a slight theme I've noticed to this top 10 as we go. One is the synth goth bangers, and the other one is me saying their best album in 20 years. I've said it about And Also the Trees and Depeche Mode. I'm going to say it again because at number 2 we have Time's Arrow by Ladytron, and again it's their best album in 20 odd years. I make no bones about the fact that Ladytron are one of my favourite ever bands to make records. I've seen them live. And they are weeping disappointment live. They lack any form of personality on stage. You know, some people might hate me for saying that. I'm just what I've seen when I've seen them. But on record, wow. I absolutely love the Tron, and this album is peak Tron. And I've been disappointed by their output for, about the last 20 years, to be honest with you. This album's a real return to form. Faces, City of Angel, Flight from Angkor, Sargossa Sea, and The Dreamers are all what I would call peak Tron. Beautifully crafted, beautifully written, slightly icy. It is pop music. It's just atmospheric, dark pop music, which kind of is what goth is. So, electro clash, that's what I was trying to think of. But yeah, it's not that. It's something else. I think is very beautiful. And this is a real return to form by a very good band. Could have really done without the bloody Christmas song they've just dropped though. Thanks Ladytron, but no thanks. Ladytron at number 2 with Time's Arrow. They're going to get their own video soon as well, by the way, because they're a truly tremendous band. Which inevitably brings us down to number 1. As I said, there are two things that seem to repeat here. One is the best album from 20 years, in the last 20 years for like 3 bands, and the other seems to be synth goth house. Can we call it goth house? Anyway, synth goth house, whatever you want to call it, banger. And at number 1 we have Deus Ex Lumina with Fight Back, which is exactly that. You can say to me, why have you picked that above the others? And I'll tell you why. What I did when I put this top 10 together was I decided to not repeat, especially as I'm doing a mixture of tracks and albums, because I only want to do one top 10. So I didn't want to repeat an act. So if I had got rid of that rule and just done it literally on track by track basis, Deus Ex Lumina, who is apparently Argentinian and lives in Berlin. Doesn't everyone live in Berlin now? Anyway, Deus Ex Lumina would have probably had 3 tracks in the top 10. Because as great as Fight Back is, and it is terrific, I also really loved Addicted to Your Pain and Black Lipstick, which all came out this year and are all absolute banging goth dance tracks. If you've not heard them, then you need to. Apparently he's on tour at the moment in Europe. So I'm hoping he's going to play with UK soon, because I really would love to see this live. He has got the goth cliche klaxon alert kind of vocal deep voice, but that's the only kind of cliche thing. It's near a kind of industrial house or something music, but always with a really wicked tune. He knows how to write a tune, does Deus Ex Lumina, as he calls himself now. And honestly, I absolutely love Fight Back. Why don't I choose Fight Back over the other 2 that I've also said were really great? It's the sheer sense of outrage and anger in it. It's called Fight Back. Go listen to the lyrics. The lyrics are great. And it's just that outrage and anger, but quite suppressed. So it's still a good banging dance tune. Anyway, great tune. And I recommend it to you. So I hope you've enjoyed my run through. Don't forget, there is a playlist in the description below where you can go and listen to these tunes. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a like. It's free to do so. If you've not, then don't bother. Also, if you want more of my wafflings, then please do subscribe. There are a lot more videos coming soon. But until next time, people, I hope 2023 has been great for you. Let me know. Has it been good? Has it been bad? What did you think of my choices? What are your favourite tracks of 2023, or albums, or gigs you've been to? Let me know. And I will see you in the next video. Ta-ra for now.